I don't see him.
We can't see you. We can't see you. We're going to jump off and jump back on.
Must have been a technical difficulty. She was in, then dropped out. Hopefully she'll be right back. Beats for the Streets. Which song, which video was that? And happy to feature you.
Hey.
Hello.
Hi, guys.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
How are you? Kwame, Vivian, good to talk to you guys again.
Thank you.
Good to
Thank
talk
you
to
for
you.
having
How
us.
are you?
Doing good. Kwame, I'm glad you're here too because we got a lot to celebrate with you on this album as well.
Oh, yeah, man. You know, I decided to jump in. I know I wasn't expected to be here, but, you know, thanks for having Viv on today.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And Vivian, I just want to say congratulations on this new album. As we told you, we're loving it already. Awesome album. Love Absolute. Man, I'm just always so excited about the evolution of your sound. I mean, it's so fun to watch you develop as an artist still to this day. I mean, talk about that a bit, just the sound of where you're at.
I don't know. I think since my second album, I've been determined to just be true to myself, you know, no matter come what may.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's been great and sometimes maybe not so much. But I think since 2015, when Kwame and I started working together, we, should I say, he has a way of just bringing some balance to my perspective because, you know, I have a ton of different influences and different genres of music and things. And I think I'm a, I said this in my last interview, I'm a selfish songwriter.
Yeah.
I just want to write what I want to write, like whatever that is. And I just think that people are supposed to understand it. But he's really great with like, okay, everybody's not going to understand that. So let's bring it back to the center. So, you know, everybody gets it. So he's really great with providing that, that balance. And I think that's what makes us working together so great. Yeah.
Right. Third album now with Kwame. I mean, your sound, I have to say, has really been re-energized since you linked up with him. I mean, you were a great artist, obviously, before that, have plenty of timeless music, but just you guys make such a great team, and it's just amazing to see the results we get from you guys working together.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way as well. Yeah, it was like a breath of fresh air, and his understanding of me and what he can add to what I bring to the table, or like I said, how we can balance it out is just really fantastic for me. So it's really worked. I'm sure you have something to say because you're like itching.
No, I just like this thing is like super far away. It's killing me.
I will just move it up.
All right, hold on. I feel like I'm on like a deposition or something. There you go. Thank you.
All right. Cool. So Love Absolute, you know, I'm a music junkie, so when I listen to music, I can't help but think, you know, the give and take of you two guys working together. You know, who starts, who leads? Like, Kwame, are you pushing Vivian in one direction? Vivian, do you have an idea? And Kwame builds off that? How does that work?
I don't think we can push each other in either direction.
It depends. Yeah, it depends on the song, but Viv for this album pretty much constructed her songs at the piano, and that's the thing. And she'll explain a little bit more. But she constructed most of like the ballads and the mid tempos at the piano, like more of a genesis of how she originally started writing songs. And I'm the one who steps in with the high energy up tempo songs. And so so she'll bring the piano songs to me, and then I'll craft music around it. I'll bring the up tempo songs around her, and she'll craft the words around it. And you know, and that's pretty much the give and take. But this album, we made a much more concerted effort to craft those songs that way, especially at the piano, especially, you know, her vibing out and her being more vulnerable and more into her feelings. It kind of worked out best that way.
Yeah, because this is like I know I've done maybe like a couple posts this year, like playing piano. It's not something that I've ever shared with
Yeah.
any fans before, because I'm not a you work with amazing musicians, and I don't like to pretend to call myself one. So,
Hmm.
but I do play by ear, and I have used it as a writing tool, and it's how I started writing songs when I was a little girl.
Wow.
And I think in the industry, you kind of you can. I'm not saying everybody does, but you can. And I did get into the habit of, hey, I'm starting a new record. Send me some music, and then you listen to the tracks, and you pick your favorites, and you write to them. But when you do that, where the music goes is already there. So I'm just writing lyrics and melody to something that's already there. I can't take it somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I can ask
Right.
for a bridge to change, but for the most part, the chord structure of the song is already there. And I just really wanted to navigate the ship for where the chords went this time for the ballads. Like, I wanted to come up with that whole structure first, and then have him write around me. And that would be the first time I've ever intentionally done that for a great bulk of an album. Like, I've never done it before. I mean, I've done it with Somewhere, Beautiful, The Emotional Roller Coaster, maybe another song, but those are like, I'm picking, a single song from albums. So it's a very different process this time.
Right.
And when I do it that way, it's not in the studio, it's like in my little piano room, and I'm just by myself with my voice memo. And then when I'm done, I let him hear it. So he's not like hovering over me while, you know what I'm saying? It's like really something that I'm doing organically alone, and I get to go wherever I want to go. You know what I'm saying? It's very different into a track. And for me, I think there's a certain magic that happens when I'm able to just freely write a song on my own and go to the places musically that I feel like going.
Right.
Yeah.
Dope.
As a producer, not to cut you off, as a producer, I think I know I secretly wanted this album to be organic like that as well. I wanted it, when people listen to it, I wanted it to feel organic. I wanted it not to be trendy in any sense of the word, and just feel like it's coming from a place from her personal creativity, and even some of my creativity, which lends to hopefully a timeless body of work.
Right.
Because, and especially we knew that we were going to possibly be releasing it this year. You have COVID happening, so we don't know what's happening. We don't know what could possibly happen with the album. So it's like, you want to make a good, solid body of work that can last through a lot of the stuff that's going on.
Right. Absolutely. And you definitely did accomplish that. So much respect, for hitting that goal.
Thank you.
I'll tell you my early favorites. I don't know if you guys have favorites from this album, not even counting Light Up. We heard that earlier in the year, and now it's a remix, which is pretty dope too. But I like Love Song, I like You Send Me, and Where You Are. Those are my three standouts. I've only had a chance to listen a few times to the album, but do you guys have any that are your personal favorites yet?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, I'm going to name like half the album. So for me, it's God, This Love.
Yeah.
It's Where You Are. It's That Kind of Pain. It's Harlem Blues. It's Sweet Home. Did I say We Are Everywhere?
No.
It's We Are Everywhere. Yeah. I think those are my faves. So that's like half the album.
I see a comment right here. Can we talk about how amazing her voice is on You Send Me? Absolutely.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I think I saw another comment on there about
I see a bunch
Sweet
of Sweet
Home.
Homes.
Yeah.
A bunch of Sweet Homes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, the best R&B album this year. Oh, thank you.
You know what's so funny? For all the people
I wrote
that
that at the piano. Boom, boom, boom. Mm-hmm.
For all the people who like Sweet Home, this one over here did not want it on the album. She was not trying to have that, because she's like, it doesn't fit. It's not working. And finally, we listened to it. Yes, we listened to it toward the end of the album. The album was pretty much done, and we were like, "Yo, we got to put this on the album," because it was one of the earlier songs. It was one of the first songs you did.
Yeah, it
on
was
the
definitely
piano.
one of the first piano songs.
So as we go by, and it's weird. The album
So
was
I understand.
constructed.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go on.
No, I was saying, okay, so I do remember because I was thinking like I don't remember that, but he's right. So when the whole time that I'm making an album, I'm thinking, does it make sense together?
Right.
So like when I have one song for this one, two songs, do one and two make sense together? I don't know, maybe not yet. So let's see what song 3 does. Can this somehow become cohesive? And I do that like all the way to the end. So at some point, and maybe it was like after we had Light Up, That Kind of Pain, and This Love, you know, maybe I was like, Sweet Home is not really fitting in anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. Either we have to bring something, you know, in on the softer side to complement and make it make sense, but it just can't stick out like a sore thumb with those other, you know, pretty hard songs. So, but yeah, then we have Where You Are, and we were able to kind of balance everything out. But I think if there's any reason why I didn't want it to be on, that would be why, because I didn't think it's
Right.
a body of work that we had at that time. But if it's
Right. Yeah.
No, I love Sweet Home, and you know, the way I crafted it musically around what she did, you know, I wanted people to feel what she was saying. I wanted people to get that feeling. I think it's a single contender. I think, you know, I think a whole lot of things about that song. And I feel like what she did at the piano and what she did with her writing helped me step up my game as a producer, because she's delivering chord structures
Yeah.
and changes that I may not have played on my own. You know, like she'll structure a song, you know, instead of 4 bars, it'll be a 6.5 bar verse. We'll go into something. I'm like, yo, what is this weirdness? But
I was like, this is weird. What are you
yeah,
doing?
she'll show up with the super weird chords, and it helps me out because it gives me something that I've never played before.
Right.
And I always, you know, I'm not over here trying to be Liberace or anybody dope on the keyboards or whatever, but I love to challenge myself.
Yeah, I mean, you
musically.
play better than me. Like
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
You just
No, I don't.
Like, oh my God, yes, you do. So we both play, but neither of us pretends to be, like he said, Liberace.
Yeah.
Liberace.
And you know, I think the point
I
is,
love
like,
it.
you know, for a lot of songs, you do not need a keyboard player to come in and play for a lot of songs. But maybe for some songs, maybe slower things, you'll call somebody to play it over. You know.
No, yeah, I can pretty much play
But you
whatever.
can pretty much play what we hear for the most part. It's him. Yeah. So I
Right.
think we just go different places naturally musically. I'm always going somewhere left, and like I said, he's got to figure it out and bring it back and make it make sense. But yeah, because some of the
Right.
quotes I came to you with, you were like, "What is that?"
Wow.
And she approaches all her stuff like an old school, like Celine Dion song. So I'd be like, nah,
Yeah.
man. We're not doing none of that, no.
Wow.
So she'll be delivering like some Diane Warren.
Oh man.
I'd be like, yo, man, it's supposed to be like R&B, man. What are you doing?
Well, you make it R&B.
Guys, I just got to celebrate this fact. I mean, Vivian, this is your 7th album now.
Yeah.
And a lot of artists who are, you know, this far in their career, they're kind of, because I listen to a lot of music, a lot of artists are struggling to find their direction. They kind of go in directions that doesn't quite fit. But Vivian, what you give us, and with the help of Kwame, what you've given us, it's timeless, it's classic, it's classy. I mean, this is like a perfect direction for you, in my opinion, and it's some of the best music we're getting in R&B right now. So I just really appreciate the fact that you're so confident in your direction. You're giving us high quality music still. I mean, you're here on your 7th album. We love this.
Thank you. I really, really appreciate it. I really, really, really do. I think, well, I don't know how you feel, but I think it's our best work to date. Where VG6 is so perfect in so many ways. I think it was a flawless, damn near flawless piece of work that we made, but it was very strong. The point of view was very strong, and it wasn't very vulnerable. And I think there was a disconnect with the people because of the very strong point of view pretty much throughout the whole album. And I think we both realized that. And so this time around, we were like, okay, you got to hit the heart this time. No matter what you do, what you say, how strong it is, you got to still hit the heart. And so I wanted to make sure that I was definitely hitting the heart this time because, you know, like I said, I love my last album, but I understand why some people just didn't get it. And I just don't want to I didn't want to make something that I thought was so great again, and then it somehow missed the mark. So, yeah. So it's very vulnerable. It's emotional. It's very personal. All those things that I didn't put into VG6 in the same way.
I think, well, let me say this. On one end, I study the history of music. When I say the history of music, I study what people have done historically, musically, and the mistakes that they've made, the successes that they've had. And I study it very diligently. And I always put patterns and numbers in my head, and the patterns that I usually see, and anybody can do this, test this theory out. Most artists peak at their fourth album. After the fourth album, it's usually a slide down. But I also study my favorite artists like a Stevie Wonder, whose Songs of the Key of Life was his 18th album.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I look at Michael Jackson. Thriller was his 12th album. You know, Off the Wall was his 11th album.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Prince, my favorite artist, Purple Rain, which started everybody on the Prince train, was his 12th album. You know, so it's like if we're on album number 7, I feel like as long as we try our best and try to create the curve instead of being on the curve, you know, we have a shot at making a great body of work. Now, label politics and promotion and marketing, all that stuff that falls into place, that may determine whether an album is the Grammy-nominated album or the number one album or whatever. But the first thing that we can do, only thing that we can do in the studio is make sure our creativity is at top level. You know, I'm not the 21-year-old producer. I don't consider myself an old man, but then I look at Quincy Jones, and Quincy Jones did Off the Wall at 50. You know, he did Thriller at 52. So I don't want to put age into it. I don't want to put album numbers into it. But I think at this point with this album, I think I feel like when I listen to it, I don't want to say best or worst. I don't think in those terms. But when I listen to it, I feel like, yo, I really did my homework. We really did our homework. We really studied for this test. Yeah. And I think we passed the test. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like one of those things like you're in school and you super study, you know, for weeks and months, and you get in there and you hype, you know, you checking off all your answers because you feel like you studied that test. And I think now it's, and I don't want to be long-winded, but I just got to say this for you and for the people here. We're in a whole nother world than where both of us started from when it comes to selling music and making music and anything. So what I wanted to do as a label owner and, you know, as a producer is push a record kind of in a different way, meaning no single, no structured radio record, none of that box. At first, we wanted to put out the body of work. We wanted people to ingest the body of work and start liking the songs that they like and playing the songs that they like and streaming the songs that they like before we do all of the political radio things. And the reason why I enjoy that because it reminds me of when I was a kid. Like when I was a kid and I bought an album, I didn't have the knowledge of this is the first single. Or this is the radio record. It's that I knew the artist, I bought the album, and I would listen to the record. This is my favorite record. That's my second favorite record. And these are the records that I chose to play, and I didn't allow a radio programmer to tell me which was the best record on the album, you know? And
Right.
we wanted it to feel like that. Yes, there's a video coming. Yes, there's a single and a radio stuff. And that's 2021. But for now, in 2020, the end of 2020, we wanted to drop this body of work and let people ingest it and get used to it.
And we dropped an instant grat track for the 3 Fridays leading up to the release.
Yeah.
And we hoped, I guess, that, you know, maybe this will give us some indication of the song that people might gravitate to, or people's favorite, you know, if one of these songs could possibly be the single, and maybe, you know, the public will help us know which one, things like that. And, you know, playlists will help us know. But like all 3 of the songs are on multiple playlists.
Yeah.
So it's like now it's a good problem to have, but we're still not exactly sure, right? So it ended up being really.
But we want to hear from people. We want to hear from people with songs that they like. And the problem is they keep naming every song.
Yeah, people name like half the album, like just like I just did. So I'm like, wow.
Maybe we should just go name the songs you don't like.
Right.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be a single, right?
No, it's awesome hearing you guys talk about how passionate you are about the creation of this project, because, I mean, a lot of artists, in my opinion, are discouraged because streaming numbers and sales are down, so they don't put the same work and effort into it. They're not passionate about it. But like when you hear Love's Absolute and hear you guys speak, you could tell you guys love what you do. You put the time and effort in, and clearly the results speak for themselves. So thank you guys for doing that.
And thank you. And I'm not going to keep talking, but the thing that is surprising to us, we're not laser focused on what's the streaming and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So when the album came out, and our partner company, SRG, was like, "Oh, you got on all the playlists," and we're like, "Okay, all right." You know, and I'm getting the calls. You're at 1 million streams for the album, and the album's not even a week old. And I'm like, "All right, okay." I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what that means. I'm like, I hear 1 million streams. I'm like, "Okay, we made $3 today." You know, but then I start looking at my Apple Music for artists and my Spotify for artists and my Pandora, and I'm seeing the numbers in real time, and I'm seeing like 300-400 people listening to the album now at once, and I'm looking at this, and this is a new world for both of us. We're looking at the map, and I'm like, yo, they're streaming it in South Africa right now. They're rocking it in Japan right now. Some random remote country in what was it, Saudi Arabia? We were looking at the other day, like all these different places, and it's like, wow, okay, you know, it's a great world out there.
Hi from
Portugal.
There we go.
See, we got somebody from Portugal. You know, and I think that's dope. I think it's real dope. I don't want to get hype about it and be like, okay, 1 million streams, 2 million streams. I don't know what that means. All I know is I just hope that translates into when 2021 hits, and hopefully these venues figure out how live shows actually take place, that we see that reciprocated, you know, with the live audience. That's
absolutely
what we really want to see.
And let me just add one more thing. I know we're almost out of time. You guys got more interviews, but Vivian, your 7th album now. You know, I recently went back and listened to your whole discography, and I know that you don't love some of your older work as much as some of the fans do. You know, speaking about your first album, but
I love fans. That's what I call them.
Yeah, but I just wanted to say, you know, when you look around, many of the artists who came out around the era you did, they're long gone. Not many have made it to 7 albums. I mean, I think it's really clearly time, you know, listen to your full catalog. Consider you one of the greats of your generation. I mean, you've just given us so much timeless music. I just want to hear from you. How do you look back on your catalog and all the timeless music you've given us?
Oh, thank you. Well, first, I appreciate it. So can I ask you, what made you do that? Was it me naming my favorites, like, for the last month or so? Is that what made you listen to the whole catalog?
No. Oh. We've actually been doing top 10 best songs lists for a lot of different artists.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah,
and with your album coming out, I definitely wanted to revisit it to get ahead of the new album. So, but that's why.
What do I say? well, first of all, it's crazy because, you know, time really does fly. It doesn't feel like it's been 18 years, you know, even though I know like it has to be. My son is 16, so
Yeah.
so it has to be 18 years. But it doesn't feel like it. It's like, how did all that happen? Like, wow, really? So when I look at my discography, I think what I see is, you know, again, from my second album moving forward, I'm just proud of myself that I chose to be true to myself.
Yeah.
That's like really important. Like, you have to be yourself and be true to yourself above all else, no matter what somebody thought or what they think or whatever misconception they had. Like, it was very important to me to, for me to write the narrative, whether people like it or not, who I am, you know, as an artist. Like, I couldn't continue to let anybody else write that, you know, for me or,
Right.
so yeah, so that's what I feel, and I'm just really proud, and I really do love each album, you know, from the second one on for different reasons, you know.
Right.
Probably my favorites today are Vivian, The Green Room, and Love Absolute. If I had to pick 3 of the 7,
wow,
they would probably be my faves.
See, she's one of these artists.
I really love Beautiful too. I really love Beautiful too, so I would want to pick that, but if I had to narrow it down,
it's hard for an artist.
but it used to be VG6, but then Love Absolutely VG6. I can't choose.
But she's one of these artists. Like she definitely beats her first album down.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, that's her prerogative. That's, you know, and I think people don't know what goes into making an album. The people don't understand, and people don't know your feelings while you're making an album. The people don't understand the circumstances of making the album, and they just know what they get.
Yeah.
They don't know the ingredients. It's like drinking your favorite soda or eating your favorite candy. You really don't know what's in this, or going to McDonald's. You don't just know what you're eating. But they know it feels good, it tastes good, and and I think I want to say this. She's gonna want to kill me, but I think for her first album, that's what it feels like for the fan base. For Viv, she thinks about my vocals weren't right. I didn't like the clothes that I had on. The tracks weren't all the way, but that's the inside looking out.
Yeah.
It's not the outside looking in. And the outside is never going to see that perspective. You know, just like I can never see what you see through your eyes, or people can never see what Viv sees through her eyes.
Right.
So you know, I get on her. We argue about this a lot. I get on her for beating down bodies of work, but I'm like, yo,
it's just one body.
It doesn't matter.
It's not multiple. I fixed it the second time around, and now I'm good.
But
so
I think
it's one body.
But I think, but I also know that you could ask a million different artists. You name their biggest record, 90% of the artists hate their biggest record. They sing it because they got to. They don't like it. They don't feel it. They don't, you know, they don't enjoy it, and it feels like they're on autopilot every time they're on stage singing their biggest record.
But see, you're missing like a very important part of it, though. Like, I think you're like, so we do argue about this, obviously. You're missing the part that well, first of all, I don't blame anybody else but me, honestly, because I feel like I should have spoken up, you know, when I didn't. But when you're very young and you're on a major label with like these huge budgets and everyone's telling you, you know, everything's everything and everything's great, and you don't think about, oh, you know, what impact is this going to have like in the long run?
Yeah.
I don't think I understood that, you know, some of the decisions or choices that were made would be things that people would try to hold me to for the rest of my existence. And that is an issue. That has nothing to do with just somebody just liking something. You can like something, but if you like something, don't expect me to be that same exact thing every time. Or don't expect me to want to stay in the little tiny box that you put me in.
Right.
I never fit in the first place. So it's not just that. It's very important to note that.
Yeah,
because,
but the product,
like when someone comes
was
to my
accepted.
concert and cries
yeah.
because I performed an up-tempo song and we did some dance moves
Oh,
to
no.
have fun, and she
Oh,
cries
no.
afterwards and tells me that's not me.
Yeah, she
That's
Oh,
not
no.
you.
get right back to my baby. And in the middle of the show, they do like this dance routine, her and the background singers. So at the meet and greet, this lady comes up crying. I can't believe you got on stage and you had fun. I can't believe.
Yeah, pretty
Oh.
much what she was saying.
I
And it's
can't
like,
believe you did the wobble. That's not you. I'm like, yo, wait, we're
like
supposed
the
to be.
wobble, like
We're
like,
not
that's
supposed
not
to
even,
have fun
like-
because all she wants is emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
you know,
And you know, just like.
or like I said, this is
But
blocks
everybody
me into being one way, but they're like, everybody's not gonna cry real tears like this particular woman did. But
Yeah.
it's a good example of people just want you to stay. Wanted me. I don't know. I feel like other artists have had lots more
I've been
freedom.
to Prince shows and
with
people
their-
get mad because he ain't wear purple that day. Like,
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. I've seen it.
Oh my
Prince
God.
will get
Oh,
on
man.
stage and on some, you know what? I'm not doing Purple Rain tonight.
Oh my God. That's
And people be heated. But this guy got 38 albums.
right.
And he decided to not do that song.
Right.
So
Wow.
did you pay your $200 for that song? Or did you pay to see the artist? So I think you know, that's kind of what you're saying.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's important to note because it's one thing if it makes people feel good. That's one thing. It's another thing for those people who felt good to say that I can't do something else or be angry when I do other things or decide they don't like me anymore, because I'm not what they thought I was. You know what I'm saying? Like, and obviously I've been willing to deal with all of the repercussions of that because I've never done that again. And and the biggest lesson learned, for me is you got to be yourself no matter what. And you got to be ready to deal with whatever those consequences are. And I was, I would rather do anything but go back to that because it just wasn't me.
But at
Right.
the same time, you don't know if you would have done what you wanted to do. There's no guarantee that would have been a success and you would have been here for your 7th album either.
Right.
You don't know.
I don't.
So it's the variable. At least you know what you didn't want to do became a success and allowed you to be here for 7 albums. You know that is a truth. But you doing what you wanted to do may not be. And I feel like
but that's just not.
that's a 50-50
It's
alternate
not
universe.
as simple, but it's not as simple as you say, though. It's not as simple as you
It's
say.
very simple.
It's not.
It is as simple as I just put
It's
it.
not. It's not.
Because it's unknown variable. You don't know.
Well, right. I agree with that. But
What if you wanted for your first
yeah,
album
but it's like you
to
like
be like, ooh, 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 ooh.
that's not
Like,
how it
what
went.
if-
That's not
I
how it
don't
went.
know.
That's not how it
We
went.
don't know what your first album could have been like.
Oh my God.
Or
But
Celine Dion song. Man, come on.
anyway,
Yeah, see, you heard her. She didn't say nothing because she wanted to make a Celine Dion album.
anyway, I'm going to finish what I'm saying.
Yeah.
How much you tried to talk over me. So I love Celine, by the way. Yep, I do deal with it. So love her. Saw her in Vegas and everything. Anyway, so what you're saying is not wrong, but you leave out things. Like you leave out very important things. Like, okay, you said it allowed me to do. You say my first album allowed me to do the other 6 albums,
Yes,
right?
yes.
But at the same time, you're totally just omitting the fact that the change from album 1 to 2, like, was a huge change for me and for fans. Like, it was, it affected me in an adverse way is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So you just can't say that first album opened up the gateway for me to just, happily make the next 6. Like, it was always easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, there were no, valleys that took place because I chose to, I demanded to be myself. I demanded that of myself and of the people around me to allow me to do that. But that came with, with consequence. So I just
Yeah.
want to say it that way, like, well, it's because the first one paved the way. It's like, but you act like it paved like a,
But you're
a
making
yellow
it-
brick road. It did not. It was
There's
difficult.
a couple of yellow bricks in there.
Okay, fine. This is how we make albums, by the way.
Like, think about this. Now, think about this. Let's. I'm not going to name anybody. Just have a new R&B female that's out right now, right?
Mhm.
And she presents herself as the trap queen, booty
Yeah.
out, singing in the auto tune, doing the most trendiest, trappiest records ever, right? But on the real side, she can sing her face
Yep.
off. They made her dress like this because it's what's cool now. And 20 years from now, when she's 45 years old,
Oh,
she's expected.
yeah.
She's not 45, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
She's 25 now. She's
Yeah.
expected to get on stage with her whole butt out.
Yep.
She got 4 kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
She's expected to get on stage, her whole butt out, and singing, yum, 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 yum. You know, it's like, I think that's what Viv didn't want to have to go through.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because there's a whole crop of artists right now doing that and not thinking
Yep.
about
The future.
what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't want to do shows in 20 years, in
Maybe
25
not.
years, in
Maybe
30 years, in 35 years. You know what I'm saying? They may not want to do that. But I'm telling you now, at some point, they cannot pull their butt out and get on stage
At some point.
and sing about trap love.
At some point, that will be an option.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a pretty good parallel. It's
And that's
it's
what they did with
extreme, but it's good.
But
Well-
no, that's pretty much what they did with
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
There's no
Well, I'll just add real quick perspective. I mean, a lot of artists are faced that we talk to are faced with something similar to what you are, to what that crazy lady asked of you. I mean, these fans want artists in the box of how they discover them, the original sound they had to that moment in their life. It connects them to that moment, and unfortunately can't see beyond that. And it really has a negative effect on artists, like we can see with yourself. So you're not the only one going through it, I can assure you, unfortunately.
Oh wow, yeah. I feel like that. I've got it like bad.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice to hear.
Yeah.
I feel like
So-
people gave me such a hard time. But like I said, I was willing to deal with it because like I'd rather be me and people give me a hard time than me keep trying to, be something else that was not, authentic.
Right.
It's interesting. So that's all.
I get it. Well, guys, we're pretty much out of time. I want to thank you once again. You guys always look out for us with the interviews and new music. Kwame, appreciate you as always for coming through here and always shouting us out. And like I said, love the album, love Absolute. Thank you for this great body of work. Thank you guys for keeping it going.
Yes,
And,
get it.
Thank you.
But Tom, I want to thank you for your love and support of the genre.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
You and I go back enough for me to, see when you were doing like the live events and just from the site and onto this platform as well. Sites like yours and you in particular, you keep this genre going, you keep this genre alive. And, we appreciate it. We appreciate you. So thank you for always looking out for all the other artists that you look out for as well.
Exactly.
I'll go on your site and I'll find out about somebody I know.
Right.
And I think that's important. That's important, whether it's 4 people, 10 people, 20 people, whoever, how many people receive it, as long as it's being received. And
Right.
those people can take it and send it to other people. So thanks.
No, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And guys like yourself, you guys who make great music, make it easier for me to keep it going and keep the passion going. So thank you in return.
Thank you for
So-
having me.
All right, absolutely. And I look forward to seeing you guys when we're out and about in person again.
Yes. Yes.
Sooner or later.
Yeah. All right, guys. You have a good night.
Thank
Okay,
you
you
too.
too.
Take care.
Later.